Imagine a world plunged into darkness as the sun sets. No light bulbs to illuminate homes. No phonographs to record cherished voices. No motion pictures to bring stories to life. Now, envision one man standing at the crossroads of innovation and controversy, shaping the world as we know it. Thomas Edison, a name synonymous with invention, was more than just a brilliant mind. He was a man of contradictions. From the iconic light bulb to the phonograph and motion picture camera, Edison's creations revolutionized daily life. Yet, his legacy is tarnished by rivalries, ethical dilemmas, and audacious experiments such as the electric chair. In this documentary, we delve into the life of a man who didn't just invent, but also sparked debates about morality and progress. Thomas Alva Edison was born on February 11, 1847, in the small town of Milan, Ohio. His family lived a modest life, barely scraping by on his father's carpentry work and his mother's resourcefulness. From the start, Edison's life was marked by challenges. A bout of scarlet fever during his early years left him with significant hearing loss, a condition that would shape much of his life. While some might see this as a limitation, young Edison saw it as an opportunity to focus on what truly mattered: his boundless curiosity. His mother, Nancy Edison, recognized her son's potential. A former teacher herself, she took on the role of his educator when formal schooling failed him. "My mother was the making of me," Edison would later say. She fostered his inquisitiveness, encouraging him to explore the world of books, science, and mechanics. Her unwavering belief in his abilities laid the foundation for the genius he would become. By his early teens, Edison's entrepreneurial spirit had already taken root. He began selling newspapers, snacks, and candy on trains running between Port Huron and Detroit. This wasn't just a job, it was his first taste of independence. Ever the innovator, he set up a small lab in one of the train cars, conducting chemical experiments during his downtime. But his experiments came with risks. A stray spark from one of his concoctions ignited a fire, earning him a swift dismissal from the railway job. Undeterred, Edison continued to dabble in telegraphy, a burgeoning technology of the time. He taught himself Morse code and secured a position as a telegraph operator, a skill that would later prove instrumental in his career. Edison's first major breakthrough came at the age of 22. In 1869, he invented an improved version of the stock ticker, a device that transmitted stock market data over telegraph lines. This innovation revolutionized the financial industry, making real-time trading information accessible to brokers across the country. Edison sold the patent for his stock ticker for a hefty $40,000, a fortune for a young man with humble beginnings. This windfall allowed him to set up his first laboratory in Newark, New Jersey, and laid the groundwork for a career that would define an era. In 1876, Edison took a monumental step by establishing the first-ever industrial research laboratory in Menlo Park, New Jersey. It wasn't just a lab. It was a hub of innovation where some of the brightest minds of the time collaborated under Edison's leadership. Dubbed the Wizard of Menlo Park, Edison fostered an environment of relentless experimentation. His team worked tirelessly, often sleeping in the lab, driven by the vision of their leader. It was here that Edison began to refine his approach to invention, turning it into a systematic process of trial and error. Of all his achievements, the invention of the practical incandescent light bulb stands as Edison's crowning glory. While the concept of electric lighting wasn't new, creating a bulb that was both efficient and long-lasting had eluded inventors for decades. Edison and his team tested over 6,000 different materials before finally discovering that a carbonized bamboo filament could burn for up to 1,200 hours. On New Year's Eve in 1879, Edison publicly demonstrated his light bulb in Menlo Park, drawing crowds of astonished onlookers. The era of gas lamps and candles was over, and the electrification of cities had begun. Edison's rise to fame was not without contention. Enter Nikola Tesla, a brilliant engineer who once worked under Edison before pursuing his own revolutionary ideas. At the heart of their rivalry was a debate over the best method for distributing electricity: Edison's direct current, DC, or Tesla's alternating current, AC. Edison, deeply invested in the success of DC, launched an aggressive campaign to discredit AC. He staged public demonstrations in which he electrocuted animals to showcase the dangers of Tesla's system, a tactic that drew both attention and condemnation. This battle, famously dubbed the War of Currents, captivated the public and highlighted the darker side of Edison's competitive nature. Edison's efforts to vilify AC didn't stop at animals. He lent his expertise to the development of the electric chair, a device that would use AC to execute criminals. Edison believed this would cement the idea that AC was dangerous and unsuitable for widespread use. While the electric chair was indeed adopted, the move sparked a heated ethical debate. Critics accused Edison of exploiting public fear for personal gain. Despite his best efforts, Tesla's AC ultimately won the War of Currents, becoming the global standard for electricity transmission. Thomas Edison's journey from a curious boy in Ohio to one of history's most celebrated inventors is as complex as it is inspiring. His triumphs in innovation are rivaled only by the controversies that defined his career, offering a nuanced portrait of a man whose genius shaped the modern world. This is just the beginning of our exploration into Edison's life. As Thomas Edison's fame grew, so did his ambitions. By the late 1880s, he had already changed the world with his light bulb and electrical systems. But Edison wasn't content with just inventing. He wanted to make his innovations universally accessible. In 1892, Edison played a pivotal role in merging two major companies to form General Electric (GE), a move that would forever transform the landscape of electricity distribution. General Electric quickly became a leader in transmitting power to homes and industries across the United States. Edison's direct contributions to the company may have diminished over time, but his influence was undeniable. GE took his ideas and scaled them to a level that lit up entire cities, powered factories, and laid the groundwork for the modern electrical grid. This transition from invention to large-scale application showcased Edison's knack for not just creating, but also commercializing groundbreaking technologies. While Edison's name is most often associated with electricity, his contributions to entertainment were equally transformative. In the 1890s, Edison collaborated with his assistant William Dickson to develop the kinetograph, an early motion picture camera. The pair also created the kinetoscope, a device that allowed individuals to view short films through a peephole. Edison envisioned a future where moving images would captivate audiences, and he wasn't wrong. By the turn of the century, his inventions laid the foundation for the burgeoning film industry. Though Edison's role in film technology was eventually overshadowed by other innovators, his early work remains a cornerstone of cinematic history. The cultural impact of motion pictures, bringing stories, cultures, and ideas to life, can be traced back to Edison's vision. Despite his many triumphs, Edison's later years were marked by ventures that didn't quite pan out. One of his most notable failures was his attempt to revolutionize cement production. Edison believed that concrete was the material of the future. He imagined a world where houses, furniture, and even pianos could be constructed entirely out of cement. In the early 1900s, Edison poured significant resources into developing cement manufacturing technology. While his methods were innovative, they failed to find a viable market. The public wasn't ready for Edison's concrete vision, and the endeavor ended up being a costly misstep. This failure highlighted a recurring theme in Edison's life. His boundless enthusiasm for invention sometimes outpaced practical demand. Yet, even in failure, Edison's relentless drive to innovate remained an inspiration to future generations. One of the most peculiar chapters of Edison's life was his fascination with the afterlife. Toward the end of his career, he became obsessed with the idea of communicating with the dead. Edison, ever the pragmatist, approached this subject scientifically. He theorized that if spirits existed, they might leave traces of their presence through physical or electrical means. Edison's spirit phone, as it came to be known, was a device he claimed could detect these traces and allow for communication with the deceased. Unsurprisingly, the concept was met with widespread skepticism. Critics dismissed it as a fanciful distraction, while others speculated that Edison's declining health might have influenced his eccentric pursuits. Though the spirit phone was never proven to work, it added an intriguing, if controversial, layer to Edison's already complex legacy. His willingness to explore uncharted territory, no matter how unusual, underscored his insatiable curiosity about the mysteries of life and existence. Thomas Edison's contributions to science and technology are almost immeasurable. Over the course of his life, he secured more than 1,000 patents, a staggering feat that speaks to his ingenuity and work ethic. His inventions didn't just solve immediate problems. They redefined how people lived, worked, and connected with one another. From lighting up the world to capturing sound and images, Edison's impact is felt in every corner of modern life. But Edison's legacy isn't without its complexities. While he was a prolific inventor, he was also a master of reinvention, often taking existing ideas and improving them. Some have argued that Edison's reputation as a lone genius overshadows the contributions of the many collaborators and rivals who worked alongside him. Moral and ethical questions. Edison's career was also marked by moments of ethical ambiguity. His rivalry with Nikola Tesla, for instance, revealed a cutthroat side to his personality. During the infamous War of Currents, Edison employed questionable tactics, including public electrocution of animals, to discredit Tesla's alternating current AC, in favor of his own direct current DC. Perhaps the most controversial aspect of this campaign was Edison's involvement in the development of the electric chair. By promoting AC as a means of execution, Edison hoped to paint it as dangerous and unsuitable for everyday use. While his efforts didn't succeed in derailing AC, they raised serious questions about the lengths he was willing to go to protect his interests. Edison's life is a study in contrasts. On one hand, he was a visionary genius whose inventions shaped the modern world. On the other, he was a ruthless businessman who wasn't afraid to use underhanded tactics to maintain his dominance. This dual image, part hero, part villain, has made him one of the most fascinating figures in history. For some, Edison represents the epitome of the American dream, a self-made man who rose from humble beginnings to change the world. For others, his career serves as a cautionary tale about the ethical dilemmas that often accompany progress. Thomas Edison's life was nothing short of extraordinary. From lighting up the world to capturing the first moving images, his contributions to science and culture are unparalleled. Yet, his story is also a reminder of the complexities of human ambition. Edison's relentless drive to innovate came at a cost, both to his rivals and at times to his own reputation. As we look to the future of technology, Edison's life offers valuable lessons. His successes remind us of the power of perseverance, while his controversies highlight the importance of ethical responsibility. The legacy of Thomas Edison isn't just about the inventions he created. It's about the questions he left behind. In the words of Edison himself, "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." Let us carry forward his spirit of innovation, but with a careful eye on the moral implications of our pursuits. If you're inspired by this incredible story and want to explore more groundbreaking ideas in science and technology, subscribe to Tech Titans. Join us as we unravel the mysteries of the universe and celebrate the minds that shape our understanding of reality. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button now